What's up, B? This is episode 2. And in this episode, ultra designer JJ Grant takes us to White Plains for some good old Italian grub. Then, we'll meet up with Mighty, the brilliant entrepreneur, for some good old Dominican comfort food. What's good, everybody? We're here at LAMBARDO'S in White Plains. Thank you, JJ Grant, for putting me onto this spot. It's actually beautiful. The people here are great. So I definitely see why you love this place. I saw they rolled out the red carpet for you, so I know you're really special in this place. The owner came and set us up to the table and everything. I really appreciate that from them. So besides that, why this spot? What made you want to come from the Bronx all the way to White Plains to enjoy some good old Italian grub?
Just because I think like this is something that I do on a regular anyway, like, and if I'm gonna be true to myself, like, and just go to one of my favorite spots, this is definitely one of those spots. So just the commute, if the commute doesn't matter when, like, you know you're gonna get good customer service, you know that you're gonna get quality food, you know you're gonna get quality drinks, like, you know, the atmosphere is good. I think, you know, what's 30 minutes for that?
Yeah.
It's priceless. Sure. I love the pasta too. I just didn't order pasta because I had pasta last night.
Yeah.
Barely finished, but
so what we got?
They have a really good pasta. The mussels over here, like, okay. This is like pretty good. And
we're gonna put you. We're just gonna show that. If that's all right, yeah. So then what we got
fresh
here?
Mozzarella.
Okay.
Right, we got the fresh mozzarella. So I mean, like, we're keeping it light today because we went hard.
This
yesterday.
is light.
We went hard yesterday. This is light.
That's good. That's good. So talk about JJ, the birth of JJ Grant, and the role that the Bronx plays in that.
JJ Grant's birthplace is the Bronx.
Okay.
I'm from the Bronx, the South Bronx to be specific. I mean, one of the things that I always try to incorporate in the pieces is just like pieces of the environment that my peers could relate to or identify with immediately. So it's just like, even if you look at the City of Broken Heart t-shirt, that glow in the dark, you'll see like the street pole in it, you'll see the street light in it, you'll see bricks that represents like project buildings and tenements, like, so it's very futuristic, but if you pay attention to the details that's within the art, you'll see that it's also very current. Yep. You know, like, and I think that's one of the things, like, I'm not trying to shy away from where I'm from. Like, yeah. You know, like, I'm very proud of where I'm from and where I was raised because it's a part of who I am, like, and I'm not ashamed of who I am as a person. So, yeah, like, and then I think, like, even when you just look at the Bronx, like, so much has came out of the Bronx, and I feel like it's so much more to come out of the Bronx, like, and it's very, like, a lot of times, like, when you think of the Bronx, it kind of gets overshadowed by Harlem because it's so close to Manhattan, especially like when you look at like the South Bronx, like where I'm from, 151st. When I tell you I'm from 151st, they mind is going to Harlem, like, oh, you from uptown? And it's like, nah, I'm actually from the Bronx, right across the bridge. But I think, like, because it's so close in proximity, you know, like, when you're from like that area, you're able to pull certain trends from Manhattan or from Harlem, or, you understand what I'm saying? Like, where people almost like think like, all right, that's where I'm from, or actuality, like, nah, I'm not.
I think Harlem, like when you say you pulling from trends, I think Harlem Harlem has its own style, but
you know, I'm not saying that.
I know.
Still trends. Like,
no, I'm not saying that, but we relate. Like, Harlem, the Bronx is Harlem's cousin, or Harlem's brother. Matter of fact, like, we relate. Like, I've been in the Bronx. I know people in the Bronx. Like, I know we cannot definitely relate to Brooklyn people. Like, no offense to my Brooklyn viewers, and no offense to my people from Far Rock. We have that you know what I mean? Like, that uptown mentality, and that they kind of engraved in us. And what I respect about your pieces is that each of them tell a story.
Right.
You know what I mean? Every single piece is a piece of art, and it's a piece of story. So, like, you becoming part of the story. Like right now, I understand the story of JJ, right, and the story of Amigo, and the story of what's the name of the third robot? Ella, and the story of Ella. So Amigo, Ella, like you know what I mean? Like I understand, like you know, like when I wear that piece, that story like comes to me. Like I feel connected to the robots, and it's so futuristic, and at the same time, it's so present.
Right. And
you know what I mean?
It's also about just like being able to connect with whichever robot, whichever character you're wearing at the time. Like, so if, you know, like you're feeling cynical, which isn't like, I think like when we use words like cynical, like it comes off like as so negative, like it's perceived as like, but I think that is a natural feeling. Like, you know, like you go through something and you have like these high hopes for it, you have expectations, and it doesn't end up the way you want it to be. Especially when we think about love, it's like it takes a very strong person to just be accepting of that. You know, like that shit takes time when you think about it, and it'll leave the strongest person feeling cynical and bitter. So like when you're able to kind of like admit that, and you strip yourself from that ego of like, oh, I don't give a fuck, like I ain't affected, like it's cool. You know, then you'll be able to relate to Ella's character on a deeper level. You know, like if you're someone that's like, if you're a hopeless romantic, like, or you feel like you're certified, I guess a certified lover, you know, like if that's the thing. You know, like then you'll relate more to JJ's character, who's a little bit more vulnerable, that's looking for love and that's not afraid to admit that. And then you have Amigo that's just kind of like the supportive friend throughout all of this, that has figured out like the true definition of love and that's trying to guide both robots, like because their whole purpose is to discover love, like, and to, you know, not only encounter it, but be able to hold on to it.
So they were built, my bad, they were built to discover love.
No, they was born.
They was born to discover.
They was born to discover love.
Robots were born, dude. That's hard.
Right.
That's hard.
So if they don't find love, then they die. So this is why Amigo's position in the story is so important. It's just like any other like superhero story or any Marvel story, right? Like you have a character, you have an issue, you have a solution, right? You have a consequence. Like if this doesn't happen, then we're all doomed. If you look at Avengers, it's like if didn't defeat what's his name?
Thanos?
Yeah, Thanos. Then it's just like, everyone dies, the world is over for the world.
When it comes to luxury streetwear, like I know there's a lot of streetwear brands coming out of the Bronx. The Bronx has an immense talent, an immense number of talent in that borough, but I feel like I see you, when it comes to luxury streetwear, I see you going there. So that was this part of the episode. We about to go back to the Bronx.
Hey guys, Richard here, director and editor of Grubstalgia. And I just want to pause this episode real quick to give a shout out to our sponsor for today's episode, Seated Orchard. Seated Orchard is a natural hair and skincare product line that uses high quality ingredients and is cruelty free. Its signature products like its Coco Loco and its Tropical Ease are must-haves for your skin and hair routines. So if you haven't shopped with Seated Orchard yet, I suggest you go do so. Thank you, Seated Orchard, for sponsoring this episode. Now let's get back to the show.
So what's good, y'all? Mighty, JJ.
What's up, nice to meet you.
Yeah, Mighty is really an entrepreneur just like yourself. She does these amazing events that are super interactive, which I really fuck with. I enjoy her content. She's just a brilliant person. She says the right things to the right people at the right time, which is absolutely key. And then she also is like a candle wizard. Makes these nice scented candles that make your room smell good and like make you feel good at the same time too. So I'll let her finish introducing yourself to you, but
okay, so like you said, I make candles. That's kind of how I started the business, was making candles. And it started because my mom and I used to love going like TJ Maxx and Marshalls and all those places to buy these candles. And you get them like at a decent price for large sizes. However, a lot of the times they won't smell up the room once you light them up. Like they smell really good once you're just sniffing them, and once you lit them up, it wouldn't smell up the room. So I was like, you know what, man? Like I remember I used to live in DR at a point. And I was like, I remember one of my sisters making candles in DR. I'm just gonna call her and ask her, like, how do I make candles so I can just do it at home? And I did that, and they came out good. And I was like, oh, I can sell this. Let's do that. And then I feel like my life, like I go through a lot of emotional roller coasters, and at that point I was in a very low part of my life, and my ex-boyfriend actually like funded for me to start a business and like make the candle making a real thing and like take it serious and have a name and all that. And that's how it started. Like, and I think 3 years later now I'm making candles. Like he gave me the money to buy everything up front.
Seems like your first investor.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't call it an investor because he's never getting money back. And he never asked for that money back, you know? It was more like his partner, which was me at the time, was like, I was going through something. He felt that this could get me out of that depression time. And he just like gave me the money that at the moment I didn't have to buy everything and like start everything and like market myself, because I really didn't even know what market yourself means, but I started learning about like branding and all that stuff, and that's how it started. And then last year, so I think I did 1 full year of just making candles, and then I also write a lot, and it has to do with a lot of like inspirational content and mental health and loving yourself. So I did like the self-love challenge during the month of February, where I emailed people every day a certain task that I had to do to kind of get closer to yourself on both like a physical, mental, spiritual level. And when the challenge finished, someone from the challenge asked, like, can you do an event so that we could meet like the other people that did this challenge? And then that's how the event started. So like someone requested it, and I was like, sure, I'll do an event, but I didn't really know what I was doing. I also didn't think it was gonna be like an ongoing thing. And I produced that event in a week and a half, I would say, and I had like 30 guests and some sponsors and a venue, and I sold, I think, 30 tickets. So I was like, oh shit, I didn't make any money, but I was able to come out like even through everything. So I didn't spend any money, like the tickets got me the money to fund everything. So it was great. I was happy. I was like, oh shit, I did this good. And then somebody asked for another event. I was like, oh yeah, I'll do it. But I didn't mean it, and I didn't think I was going to. And then you gotta be careful what you tell people because they hold you to it. Then like months later, they were like, yo, but you said you were gonna do another event. Like, what happened? And then from there, like it just started rolling, and I started doing more events. And this year I was meant to do the 1 year anniversary event because last year was like my first year having events. And then COVID was like, hold on, we're gonna take a break.
So in specific, what were you emailing?
So I was emailing things. I took it through like a 3-course, different stages that you were going through throughout the month of February.
So we got the pilon, we got the ajo. We are not in DR, people. We are in the Bronx in Ajo y Oregano, but it feels like it.
So you went through 3 different stages. The first stage was acknowledgement and kind of getting in tune with how you're feeling and what's going on in your life. I made it like MailChimp, and each day the email will go out. So it'll be like inspirational quote, and then it'll give you the task. Sometimes the task was just like questions that you had to kind of journal and ask yourself, and that was most what like week 1 was about. Then week 2 was about decluttering. So you would still get journal prompts about decluttering your space and your mind, but you would also have tasks like today you're decluttering your closet, and it'll be like as specific as like the things that you said you're gonna wear and it's been more than 6 months and you still haven't like wore it, then unless you have a like tangible idea of where you're gonna wear this to, then get rid of it. The third week was about adding value to your life. So you were finding things like picking up a new hobby, or getting a plant for your room, or starting a savings account. Like you were adding things that had to do. So I would always bring you back to like the acknowledgement and figuring out what is it that you really said that you wanted to have in your life. So then you were adding value through that. And then the last week was about celebrating. It was about celebrating your life. Those were like the 4 pillars, like acknowledgement, declutter, adding value, and then celebrating yourself. And that's what the emails were.
Is that how all the bloomies
yes.
came together, and like that's how you got your
That's how I built the community. Yeah, like that's how I started a presence on social media.
Ordered the chicken. So this place gives you like a Grubstalgia of DR.
Yes,
Okay.
it really does.
They-
Especially I lived in DR for a couple of years, so it really just feels like you're back home.
yeah. Put you in the box.
Yeah, but you're not. So you're home and you're home. I think what benefits me too is that I spent a lot of money going to these events and going through these seminars. So I'm very careful about getting people to spend money with me, right? Because I want to make sure your time is worth it and your money was worth it, because that's what I would want if I'm going somewhere. So I think that's what sets my events apart, is that I sit down and like I really run it through to see if I would enjoy paying this ticket if it was you making the event, right? And then I take time to learn from what did I do properly and get like feedback from the people that attended the event and make sure I'm fixing and structuring the next one so that it fits the public, right?
So I got food in my mouth, so can you take us away?
Yes. Hey guys, this is Grubstalgia season 2, right? Thank you so much for blooming with us.